Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I know we have some other people that are probably going to watch this after the fact, so I'm just going to pretend I'm talking to a room full of people, but welcome to our class, Healthy, Happy Kids, and we are going to touch on babies up through teenagers, and I've got a lot of stuff I could talk about, but this is supposed to be a quick class. Um, my goal is to keep it to about 15 minutes or so, and we'll see how we do. So I brought a bunch of stuff just down here on my bed as some visuals to kind of keep me focused. And of course, we are talking a lot about Young Living essential oils as well as supplements. But just a quick introduction in case you're watching this after the fact and you don't know who I am or you don't know my story. I'm a mama of 9 kids, and I have from ages 3 all the way up to 19 years old. And so a big part of my job as mommy is to keep people happy and healthy. And when they're owies, deal with the ouchies and things like that. So I started with using Young Living products some years ago, but for us, our health journey really started with our diet, which was even years before the oils and natural living supplements came into our lives. And so, as I talk about this, I just want to emphasize that it's super important to know that this is a holistic approach. So you cannot simply oil away or supplement away bad choices when it comes to food or the things that you're putting in and on your body. So that's another class, to dig into all of that. But I want to plant that seed. So if that's not something you've really thought about before, do consider that diet is super important, and the things you're exposing your body to, the on your skin and then in your environment, the things that you're breathing in, those are all really important to take into consideration. So so that's just kind of my little introduction. Also, I should give a caveat or a disclaimer because I'm a mom. I am not a medical person, unless you count my CNA parent CNA certification for our special needs girl. But all that to say that, I'm not going to prescribe or diagnose anything or treat anything or say that any of these products will cure this, that, or the other. I will share some things that we use and why we use them. But it's up to you to do your research, and I'm happy to give you some sources for that, and I'll share a couple of my favorites as well. Okay, so we want to start out by talking about healthy kids, and I thought probably the two big places are the immune system and then talking about gut health. Those really go hand in hand, right? So, um, and also I guess I should put out there as well. There's, again, so much we can cover, but when using oils with small children or with elderly people, I know this is a class about children in particular, but pets, the elderly, and small children, their skin is very permeable. And so you do want to use safety precautions. And some of the hotter oils, especially that I can use without it bothering me, I would dilute that for my children. So a fatty carrier oil, coconut olive oil, something that will slow down the rate of absorption by the skin. It's not going to dilute the efficacy. It's still going to be very potent, and it will do its job, but it will slow down the rate at which the skin absorbs that oil. So for the immune system, and this is what got me passionate about getting into essential oils and vitamins and supplements, is because God just kept sending us babies. We didn't intend to have a big family, but we do. And so years ago, I was frustrated that one kid would get sick and then everybody would get sick. It was like dominoes falling. And so my goal in getting my Young Living starter kit was just to boost our immune system and give us a fighting chance against some of the yuck that I felt like we were constantly having. It's interesting. My Facebook memories pop up, and I'm realizing how frequently I used to post about us being sick. And it's really sad. I didn't realize how ill we were so much of the time, and I almost take for granted now that we just don't really get sick anymore. And that's especially important if you know our story with our youngest special needs daughter, that she could be considered immune compromised, but she's actually very healthy. But if she were to get a respiratory illness, COVID-19 or anything, she could go downhill really quickly because of her anatomy and just some other complications she has. So supporting the immune system is super important to us. So the number one thing that our family has done is just inviting Thieves Oil into our lives. And so Thieves is a blend that has 5 oils that are all super amazing with supporting the respiratory system or the immune system. Yes, respiratory as well, but fighting off the yuck. And there's a roll-on that is already diluted and that we can roll on our feet or up the backs of our spines, or just the plain oil itself. So I mentioned the feet. That's an easy place to apply oils to get them in your system, and safely. You don't have to dilute on the feet. You could with babies, and for something like this, I might, just to be cautious. But that's a tougher area, and so usually dilution is not required. I brought one of my favorite diffusers, Feather, and I don't have him plugged in, but he or she, I guess it depends which child's room it's in. This is a favorite diffuser, and it is a noisemaker as well. Has different sounds, or you can have the sounds off, and then a night light. It's got different 10 or 11 different settings for the light. But diffusing oils is also a super easy way and very safe way to get the oils into your system. So within seconds, when you're breathing them in, they are in your cells and going all over your body and really boosting your body's ability to fight off illness on its own. So oils basically bring our bodies into homeostasis. So if we are swinging too far to an extreme, it will bring us back and allow our bodies to do what God intended, to heal themselves and fight off the sickness. So the Thieves Oil blend is absolutely one of my favorite things ever, because once we started using that, hands down, we have been so healthy ever since. And I'm not saying we never get sick, but when somebody does get sick, it's not like the whole family falls. It's usually contained, and it's way shorter of a duration than it ever used to be. So we are a living testimony to that. All right, I brought the Ninja Red pouch. This also comes in bottles, but this is an antioxidant drink. It's super juice. It's so amazing. And I have a class that I can send information if anyone wants more detail about this. But this is a powerhouse too for supporting our immune system, and really just so many good things about our bodies, health and preventative health. And so there's certain things I can't say according to FDA regulations, but I will say as a preventative for some very significant issues, this is in my shelves constantly because of our family history. And then also we have noticed a difference with this, with boosting our immune system and our overall health and wellness. It's a natural energy drink as well. So that is important for me as a mom to stay healthy and energetic. So my kids get, this is a 2-ounce pouch, but my kids get, we usually do about 1 ounce for them, just for cost, plus they're smaller, and about 2 ounces for my husband and me every day. And we do add orange oil and copaiba oils to it, just a drop each, and then drink it. So along with the drinking of the juice in the morning is vitamin time. And my kids love the Mighty Bites vitamins. These are tablets. And I will say we're a bigger family. And so the recommended daily allowance here is 4 tablets per kid. So I was going to say they don't get 4 tablets. But our dietitian who works with Verity, who is G-tube fed, has calculated that she needs 2 a day. So we dissolve 2 of these actually in Ninja Red, and then she gets that through her tube feeding overnight. She has a slow continuous feeding there. So, and then my other kids, we take 1 at breakfast and 1 at dinner. And so they are getting that in their system. I am going to share a quick word. Something I didn't know before I started researching is that so many vitamins are made of synthetics. They're synthetic forms of vitamin C or vitamin D or whatever. So that is something to look out for. And I do have a blog post about that. I have other information. So if you want to know what to look out for on the labels, definitely research that, because some brands and some things that I thought were perfectly fine actually did not have whole food real sources of the vitamins. They were synthetics, and we know that our bodies do not process synthetics the same way as God made material, and in fact they can be very harmful for us. So that is something to look at when you're looking at vitamins. So obviously, you know, the vitamin C, vitamin B, multivitamins. This is a multi. And then, so for us, this plus the Ninja is, it fills the holes in our diet. So we feel comfortable with these. You know, you can add a lot of other vitamins too, but that's what we do for the kids. I won't tell you what we do for us because trying to save time, and I can do another class on adults, but that's for them. I mentioned that gut health goes hand in hand with immune health. So I brought the kids probiotic. This is the Mighty Pro, they call it. It's actually a pre and probiotic supplement, and it's made from the wolfberry, which is the same special berry that the Ningxia red juice is made from. So that's where it gets the prebiotic to it. Anyways, my kids love this. It's almost like a pixie stick. It is sweet. It's got a sweet taste to it. And they love it. They don't get one every day. Verity does. Verity gets hers every day because she has a lot of gut issues, but we just sprinkle them throughout the week and give them a few here and there. So that helps their gut health. And then I mentioned earlier the diet thing. So again, I won't go into all the things with nutrition, but just watching what we're eating and being aware of how our bodies react to what we eat is very important. And you probably know that if you're a child, or if you are a mother or father of child with food issues, right? Along with the gut health, I brought Digize. I don't have the tummy jize. I'll talk a little bit about the Kidscents line here, but the Digize oil is super great for supporting gut health and digestion. And this happens to be Verity's bottle. It's got a roller top on it, and it has Digize and lemon and some fractionated coconut oil. So I can rub it right on her belly, and I give her a belly massage, and then we VitaFlex to help her poop every day. So that is another great thing for gut health. I mentioned the Kidscents line. So there are oils that are already pre-diluted in a blend, and it's the Kidscents line, SCENTS. So I mentioned, oh, I do have tummy jize. Ha, I'm missing one. Oh, I know what I'm missing. Okay, so there's tummy jize, which again, you can rub on the belly for any tummy issues. The Sniffles is great to put on the throats and chests when there's respiratory stuff going on. It's good in the diffuser as well, but again, these are pre-diluted, so you can put it straight on the neck, throat, chest area so that they can breathe that in. Other respiratory oils you could use to support would be RC blend, the Raven blend. Peppermint is a good respiratory support as well to kind of open things up. I diffused that earlier today. One of my kids, I don't know if he was starting to get a sniffle or if it's something allergy related, but we put peppermint in the diffuser. Next thing I know, he's like, I can breathe. And he's running outside, and he was kind of, you know, not super thrilled about life before then. So diffusing is a great way to do that support. Genius is like a brain power blend. And I need to get more I was in the habit for a while and I kind of forgot, but I was putting it on Verity just because she's developmentally delayed, and just to see if we would notice some things. So I pulled it back out again, it got hidden. So we're going to try that for her, but also diffusing in, you know, during school time or times when you want your kids to concentrate and actually learn something. That's a really good support for children and teenagers as well. And then the Owie is the other one that I have. There's one more besides this. I'll try not to forget it. But the Owie oil is just like it sounds. Any kind of owies the kids get, bumps, scrapes. We put this on it. Sometimes it might be a placebo effect because really they're really not that injured. But we say get the aoi oil or the ice. What do you want? Aoi oil or ice or both? And those are really their go-tos. And it has helichrysum in it, which is one of those. Helichrysum oil is so good for stopping bleeding. So if you have nosebleeds or if you have something that's gushing blood, that it will help with that. Cypress and lavender also for nosebleeds, just throwing that out there. That wasn't in my notes, so there's a freebie for you. So one more Kidscents that I don't have is Sleepy Eyes. And there's a reason we don't have that. It works so amazing. We put that in the diffuser, and actually that's a good segue, because my next point for healthy kids is sleep. They have to have good sleep. We know that as parents, if we don't get good sleep, we are not doing really well. We're prone to emotional issues as well as physical issues, but sleep is super important. So the Sleepy Eyes blend is great. It's just ready to go in the diffuser, and it makes me fall asleep. My husband and I really like that one as well. The Peace and Calming blend is so amazing. Also in the diffuser at night. You can rub any of these, you can diffuse, you can rub them on feet. It's nice to have a little routine with your kiddos that you can, rub it on their wrists or their hands. They can smell it, or put it on a lovey or on their pillow. You can make pillow sprays with these too, but just the scent is very calming and relaxing. And Peace and Calming is just one of my personal favorites, because it reminds me of the peace and calm that we had in the NICU room after Verity was born. And a time that I didn't expect to feel peaceful was, I just knew the Lord was there and watching over us. And that scent was very calming. I'll also mention the Seedlings Calm blend. For the Seedlings line, there's wipes, there's diaper rash cream, there's, I don't know, I'm going blank. Maybe it's just those. But this is it's empty, sadly, but I can still smell it. But this, I loved diffusing this, and it's really pretty inexpensive. I think it's only about $12 for wholesale members. So I love the Seedlings Calm. So for sleep, those are some of my favorite things to support it. And then a lot of people go to lavender and cedarwood. Those are a good combo to put together. There's probably a lot of different things. Vetiver and valerian, I think, are also good sleep aids. They're not the most pleasant smelling. So those would be ones that I would put in a roller and roll on feet, so I don't have to touch them and smell my hands afterwards. But we have made rollers that include those, and just like the topper with the Digis, they just roll on the feet, and then like I said, I don't have to smell them, don't have to have them in the diffuser, but they work. Okay, so we mentioned owies. Owies are a big part of growing up, and even, cutting yourself shaving if you're a teenage girl. So older kids have that too. So the aoi oil it's okay for teenagers as well. We use the aoi oil. Panaway, my teenagers that, throw out a shoulder if they're throwing a football, or their back hurts after they've been doing some yard work, something like that. The Panaway oil is really fabulous, and we can put that on there, often without diluting for them, but they can have diluting as well. And then I was going to show you our Boo Boo spray. This isn't, so the aoi oil, the ice, Boo Boo spray really needs to go along with the litany of things, and they'll come running in, I need the Boo Boo spray. And this, I did not write the recipe on the bottle, which was really not very smart of me, but I did get it. If you have the Essential Oils Pocket Reference book, this one is the 7th edition, but I know that I made it from the 6th edition, so I think they all have some form of it. Sometimes it's tricky to look it up, and this was under, let's see, I had to look up, cuts, scrapes, and wounds. So I was trying to find something. So there's a first aid spray recipe in there. And then there's just there's like a bruise and scrape blend, an infected cut blend, and you can make your own as well by looking at the recommended oils and see what you have and get some ideas as far as proportions. But I feel comfortable that this spray, it has lavender and tea tree, I don't remember what else, but I feel like it's going to disinfect what needs to be disinfected and start the healing process as well. So we've had really good luck with that. Um, let's see. Okay, so we've talked a lot about healthy, so I want to take a few minutes to talk about happy kids and just address some of the things that I don't think I really thought I was going to need to address. I don't know, it didn't cross my mind as a mom that not only was I concerned for their physical health, I knew spiritual, like I knew that was part of my job description as mom, is to pass on our faith to our children. But mental and emotional health was something I really did not even think about until I was affected. And that was during my pregnancy with Verity. And not to go too deeply into the story, but fast forward, now I know. I didn't know at the time, but my teenage daughter was really struggling right along with me. And she had her own set of issues, and that's a different story. That's testimony that we have shared and are happy to share. But all that to say, that opened my eyes to how important mental and emotional health is, and especially just the world today. You know, looking at statistics, we're looking at 1 out of 3 people dealing with anxiety and depression. And teenagers are facing so many more pressures than I even knew existed when I was a kid. And of course, technology and social media and all of that, we know that suicides are up. Mental health is a huge concern. And thankfully, people are starting to talk more and more about it. But I think it's still an area that the church especially can really improve and make it more of an open discussion. And as parents, we really need to just be aware. And so if you have little ones, just tuck it away. And especially if you have little ones, you yourself may need to be giving some self-care for mental and emotional health, because again, lack of sleep or stresses, a single parenting, job stresses, all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of stress out there. So we do have to take care of ourselves as mommies and daddies too. But for the kiddos, I love Endo Flex, and that is from little all the way up through teenage. And actually, I use Endo Flex, but this supports the immune system. It's kind of locked in there. It supports the endocrine system. So Endogize is a blend. It is a Vitality one, so you can take it internally, but it also works great in the diffuser, and it works great topically. And so I apply it over, the endocrine glands, over the pancreas, liver, adrenals, and you can VitaFlex it on your feet. You can put a drop or two in the diffuser and just help everybody be happy. But supporting the endocrine system where our hormones are made, and that has to do with obviously our emotions and how we feel. So that is a more recent addition to our family's plan of attack. And I have had to literally hand it to a teenager and say, please use this, put some on, we just, you're concerning me with a little bit of, depression symptoms. So that is a support mentally and emotionally, but it's through physical means. There are other oil blends that are great support for emotions and mental health, specifically some that have really helped our family: Stress Away, Valor, the Peace and Calming that I mentioned earlier, Joy. Probably not one that your boys are going to like, but Joy, we put that over our hearts, and my husband uses it now. It's been really good. But the oil of joy, there's a reason it's in the Bible. Frankincense, and so this is fabulous, really good mental and emotional support. There's a reason that God had the priests using this in the temple daily when they were coming before him. Another hormonal one for the young ladies is Progessence Plus. So I have a 13-year-old daughter, and I just gave her her own bottle of this, and my college-age daughter uses it, and I use it. So any female in the house, they say 12 and up really, can benefit from Progessence Plus. And so that's another whole class. And actually, we will touch more on this next week. We're going to talk about women's health and hormones especially. So I will come back to this, but I want to put it out there for your teenage girls, this is really important. Just a drop um, on the forearms can help. And then if there are premenstrual cramps, um, they can put it on their belly as well until the cramps go away. And this is very safe and it's helpful. Oh, and last thing, a tool, at least that I have right here accessible to me, is the Calm CBD roll-on. And CBD could be a whole class in and of itself, and I have done a class on this before. But for this quick class, this is a roller. It smells amazing. There's no THC in the Young Living CBD oil, so it's pure. It is what's the word I'm looking for? They provide essential oils which have the terpenes added to the CBD so that your body has, it works with your body's own receptors that God put in the cells. So, oh, it smells amazing. So this is so good. Roll on the back of a neck of a child who's having a tantrum, or of someone who's facing test anxiety or going into a difficult situation, or just struggling to get through the day. This has helped a lot of people. And I know someone personally who used to have, an adult who used to have 20 panic attacks a day, and she's free of them just by using that product. So, okay. So along with the happy kids and supporting emotional health, I just putting this out there, I'm a spiritual person. I believe in the word of God and the power of scripture. And so we quote Bible verses as we apply oils. So valor, be strong and courageous. The Lord your God is with you. We say truth to ourselves as we're putting the oils on. So whether it's scripture, whether it's an affirmation that you want to say over yourself, over your children, you can teach them how to do this as well. It's super important that we are mindful and purposeful about what we tell ourselves, and then giving our kids those tools to speak truth to themselves too, because we're bombarded with lies all the time, and the enemy of our souls is putting thoughts in our heads that are just vile and vicious. And so we have to be so careful to guard our minds and make sure that we're speaking truth purposefully and not even subconsciously giving way to those lies. Okay, so those are my notes. Those are my little show and tell. I'm gonna open it up and let's see. Okay, that wasn't a question on the chat. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording because we've been going for a while. I'll address any questions that come up, but thanks for being part of this quick class. And our next one next week will be women's health and hormones. So I hope to see some of you then. And if you're watching this later, if you have any questions, please reach out to whoever invited you to see the video, and we would love to help you out. All right.